Welcome back to Movie Flip, the channel where we bring you full detailed recaps of your favorite movies so you never miss a moment. Today, we're diving into the 2024 romantic drama Winter, Spring, Summer, or Fall, a heartfelt coming-of-age love story told across the 4 seasons of a year. It follows two very different teenagers, Remy and Barnes Hawthorne, whose lives unexpectedly intersect, pulling them together and apart as they navigate ambition, family expectations, heartbreak, and young love. This is not just a story of romance but of growth, choices, and the fleeting yet unforgettable impact people can have on each other's lives. Let's walk through the complete plot from beginning to end. It begins in winter, the season of stillness and chance encounters. Barnes Hawthorne is introduced in a haze of smoke, sitting casually with his best friend PJ, sharing a joint and looking at the world with a detached, easygoing air. Barnes doesn't have a clear plan for the future, and he isn't worried about it. He lives moment to moment, drifting between music, friends, and simple pleasures. As he peers across the street, his eyes land on Remy. Remy has just completed an important interview for the prestigious Google Fellowship, an opportunity that perfectly matches her structured, ambitious path. Unlike Barnes, Remy's life is defined by careful steps, academic achievements, and an iron determination to follow in the footsteps of her lawyer parents. Where Barnes appears untethered, she looks laser-focused, disciplined, and already shaping her future with confidence. Their paths cross again on a day when Barnes is heading to New York for a concert. At the train station, amidst the noise and bustle, he spots Remy once more. She is there preparing for a tour of Columbia University, another step in her college journey. The train ride becomes the backdrop for their first real conversation, and it is in this enclosed, fleeting space that their personalities start to reveal themselves. Remy talks about her aspirations to attend Harvard and become a lawyer like her parents, while Barnes admits he is planning an aimless gap year with no particular structure. The difference between them is clear, one rooted in certainty, the other floating in possibility. Yet in that difference lies the spark of curiosity. Remy even suggests ideas for what he could do, from volunteering with sea turtles to joining a music group, while Barnes shares his Talking Heads playlist, inviting her into his world of music. When the train reaches their stop, Barnes takes a chance and asks her out. But just as the moment hangs between them, fate intervenes. A cyclist barrels into Remy, sending her tumbling and leaving her in need of stitches. Hours later, they find themselves together in the harsh fluorescent lights of the emergency room. Here, Remy gently declines his invitation, explaining that he isn't the kind of person she wants in her life right now. The honesty is soft but firm, and when they part ways, it feels like an ending, though both of them leave with a sense that something about this meeting is unfinished. Months pass, and with them the seasons shift. By spring, new beginnings bloom, and the tone of the story changes. It is prom season, a rite of passage that feels both thrilling and awkward for teenagers everywhere. On the morning of the big day, Remy finds herself cornered by her parents, who decide this is the perfect time to give her an unsolicited lecture about sex. Despite her clear discomfort and resistance, they hand her condoms just in case. Later, her date Lucas stumbles upon them and jumps to the conclusion that Remy intends to sleep with him. She denies it, but the misunderstanding hangs awkwardly in the air. Across town, Barnes is preparing for prom in his own way. He casually asks his mother if he can borrow the car, intending to take his ex-girlfriend Erica as his date. Barnes's relationship with his mother is marked by affection but also a sense of independence. His carefree approach to the night is worlds away from the intensity and pressure Remy is experiencing. When the night arrives, destiny once again pulls Remy and Barnes into each other's orbit. Both are left behind by their respective dates, Lucas and Erica, and find themselves unexpectedly reconnecting on the prom floor. The music surges around them, and when a song from the playlist Barnes once shared comes on, a flicker of recognition and warmth passes between them. They dance, laughing in the neon lights, finding comfort in each other while the rest of the world spins on. When a slow song begins, Barnes suggests they leave, and together they slip away from the crowd. Their evening takes them to a sushi restaurant, an unconventional but intimate choice. Over dinner, Barnes reveals a surprising side of himself, his fluency in Japanese, rooted in years spent living in Japan while his mother worked as an army medic. The revelation shows Remy that behind the slacker exterior lies depth, history, and layers she hadn't expected. Later, he brings her to his house, where she hesitates, unsure of what he might expect. But Barnes reassures her simply by being patient and respectful, showing he values her comfort above all. As the night deepens, Remy brings out a joint she'd gotten from PJ earlier, and together they share it, laughter filling the air. In the haze of smoke and the closeness of their company, Barnes admits the real reason he went to prom: he just wanted to see her again. He also shares that he's thinking seriously about volunteering with sea turtles in Costa Rica, an idea inspired by her earlier suggestion. This moment of honesty marks a turning point. The walls between them crumble, and with the knowledge that Remy will be leaving for Harvard in only a few months, they decide not to waste time. Their connection deepens into a relationship, and with a kiss, they step into the season of summer together. Summer arrives with its heat and intensity, magnifying everything between them. On the 4th of July, Remy and Barnes find themselves drinking on PJ's rooftop, the city alive with fireworks and festivity. Across the street, Remy's father paints their house crimson in honor of her upcoming journey to Harvard, a symbol of both pride and expectation. Encouraged by Barnes's presence and perhaps emboldened by the alcohol, Remy finally reveals to her parents that she has been planning to spend time volunteering in Costa Rica before starting school. The news ignites anger. Her parents, deeply invested in her academic future, see this as a distraction, a reckless detour from the clear path she's meant to follow. They ground her, trying to pull her back under their control. But Remy, now tasting freedom and emboldened by her relationship with Barnes, pushes back. Instead of yielding, she leaves with him to celebrate the holiday at a lake house. It is a defiant choice, one that represents her attempt to step outside the rigid lines of her upbringing. Yet the rebellion spirals into consequences. While intoxicated, Remy takes PJ's Jeep and crashes it, the night shattering into chaos. In the aftermath, she and Barnes argue bitterly. Their differences, once intriguing, now feel like barriers. Remy lashes out at the aimlessness of Barnes's gap year, insisting it isn't the right path. The tension peaks, and the relationship that had felt so electric begins to unravel. By the end of summer, their 3-month romance collapses under the weight of conflicting dreams and mounting mistakes. Fall brings change again, this time colder, quieter, and filled with reflection. Remy has moved on to Harvard, where she balances academics with a job as a waitress. The busy streets of Boston surround her, but there's an emptiness that lingers. One day, scrolling through Instagram, she notices Barnes is in the same city. Tentatively, she reaches out with a message. When they meet on campus, it's clear the feelings are still there. They catch up, admitting that they miss each other, but also acknowledging that perhaps the breakup was for the best. Both seem older now, carrying the weight of their choices. Remy invites him to a Halloween party, offering a chance to reconnect, but Barnes declines, saying he already has plans with the band he works for. Now an assistant at a record label, he is touring with musicians, finding purpose in the world of music. On Halloween night, Remy, encouraged by her friends, makes the bold decision to crash the concert venue. The music pulses, the crowd sways, and in the chaos, she finds Barnes. In a rush of emotion, she confesses that she still has feelings for him and asks if they can try again despite the obstacles. Barnes, though clearly moved, gently turns her down. He says they are better off as friends. The words hit hard, and Remy, holding back tears, respects his choice and leaves. Later that night, Barnes sits with the band, his mind restless. The musicians, having seen his hesitation and the look in his eyes when Remy appeared, encourage him to be honest about what he truly feels. Their urging stays something within him, breaking through the wall he had tried to put up. Realization floods him. Turning her away was a mistake. With their help, Barnes sets out to make things right. In a classic, heartfelt gesture, the band joins him in serenading Remy outside her dormitory. The sound of music drifts into the night, calling her out into the cool autumn air. Surprised, she steps outside and finds him there, surrounded by melodies and vulnerability. For a moment, the world pauses. Their eyes meet, full of unspoken emotions, apologies, and longing. Without words, they close the distance, and in the glow of the night, they reunite with a kiss. The film ends here, with the cycle of the seasons complete. Winter introduced them, spring allowed them to grow closer, summer tested and broke them, and fall gave them clarity and reunion. Their journey mirrors the passing of time, reminding us that relationships, like the seasons, shift and change but can also return with renewed strength. And that wraps up the full story of winter, spring, summer, or fall, a tender exploration of young love, growth, and second chances. If you enjoyed this detailed recap, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to Movie Flip for more full movie breakdowns told from start to finish. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.